Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. It is East versus West, and we'll start in the Eastern Conference, where Detroit City right in the thick of that playoff race. But 3 points today is an absolute must, because on the other side in the Western Conference, Las Vegas, they are dead last on just 14 points, trying to play spoiler, though, coming into this one tonight. And as we look at the season for Detroit this year, it has been close, but it hasn't been enough so far this year.
And talking to Trevor James, he said, look, we need to be better in front of goal. We're creating so many opportunities, but how do we get the ball to hit the back of the net? You change your formation, you get more players in around that 18-yard box, and it needs to start now because playoffs are right around the corner, and you're at home in front of your home faithful.
And speaking of the road to the playoffs, they're going to play all of the teams right around them in the table.
And it's very interesting because 6 out of the last 10 at home, at Keyworth, in front of the home fans. So again, for Trevor James, it all starts tonight because you have massive games coming up at Birmingham versus Miami, at Loudoun United, against teams that are in around that playoff line. So again, it starts, what a brilliant opportunity this is, Josh.
Well, on the other side for Las Vegas Lights, they come out east and they're just looking for something to go their way in terms of results.
And we talk about managing moments, whether it's in the attacking 18-yard box, whether it's in your defensive 18-yard box. It hasn't been good enough for Isidro Sanchez, but you have to scratch your head because you look at the roster and there's talent all over that can produce that little bit of magic, but what an opportunity to play spoiler here in Detroit.
And as we look at these two teams matched up against each other, Detroit, they don't score a lot of goals, but Vegas, they can see quite a few.
And it's interesting because Detroit, they've been so good at home as of late, but not this season. 7 goals scored at home, least in USL Championship. And for Las Vegas Lights, 41 goals conceded for Isidro Sanchez. It all comes down defensively. You need to stay compact and keep everything in front of you to get a clean sheet here today.
Well, let's see what we get tonight. Detroit vying for the playoffs. Vegas, they're trying to play spoiler. We will have lineups and first kick coming up from Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Michigan. Stay with us. It's the USL on ESPN. It's a historic night in the USL Championship with the first ever nationally televised doubleheader. The first of two starts right here in Detroit, Michigan. Next. It is the USL on ESPN. We come to you tonight from historic Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Michigan. It is Detroit City FC playing host to Las Vegas Lights FC. With Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. It is East versus West, and we'll start in the Eastern Conference, where Detroit City right in the thick of that playoff race. But 3 points today is an absolute must, because on the other side in the Western Conference, Las Vegas, points. They are dead last on just 14 points, trying to play spoiler, though, coming into this one tonight. And as we look at the season for Detroit this year, it has been close, but it hasn't been enough so far this year.
And talking to Trevor James, he said, look, we need to be better in front of goal. We're creating so many opportunities, but how do we get the ball to hit the back of the net? You change your formation, you get more players in around that 18-yard box, and it needs to start now because playoffs are right around the corner, and you're at home in front of your home faithful.
And speaking of the road to the playoffs, they're going to play all of the teams right around them in the table.
And it's very interesting because 6 out of the last 10 at home, at Keyworth, in front of the home fans. So again, for Trevor James, it all starts tonight because you have massive games coming up at Birmingham versus Miami, at Loudoun United, against teams that are in around that playoff line. So again, it starts, what a brilliant opportunity this is, Josh.
Well, on the other side for Las Vegas Lights, they come out east and they're just looking for something to go their way in terms of results.
And we talk about managing moments, whether it's in the attacking 18-yard box, whether it's in your defensive 18-yard box. It hasn't been good enough for Isidro Sanchez, but you have to scratch your head because you look at the roster and there's talent all over that can produce that little bit of magic, but what an opportunity to play spoiler here in Detroit.
And as we look at these two teams matched up against each other, Detroit, they don't score a lot of goals, but Vegas, they can see quite a few.
And it's interesting because Detroit, they've been so good at home as of late, but not this season. 7 goals scored at home, least in USL Championship. And for Las Vegas Lights, 41 goals conceded for Isidro Sanchez. It all comes down defensively. You need to stay compact and keep everything in front of you to get a clean sheet here today.
Well, let's see what we get tonight. Detroit vying for the playoffs. Vegas, they're trying to play spoiler. We will have lineups and first kick coming up from Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Michigan. Stay with us. It's the USL on ESPN. Building you up to first kick tonight from Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Michigan. Detroit City FC, Las Vegas Lights FC. Two teams making their way out onto the pitch now. Right here in Keyworth Stadium, this is one of the premier atmospheres and venues in the USL Championship. You see the houses. This is built right into the community. And of course, this stadium opened in 1936, some refurbishments in 2016. But what is really the key to this stadium is the Northern Guard supporters. What an awesome atmosphere they provide week in and week out for Detroit City. It is all about City till I die. And as we look at Trevor James' starting 11, a few changes into the Detroit City lineup tonight.
And my eyes go straight to that front four. You have Morris. He's going to stay high. He's going to occupy the two center backs. So Simonson and Williams, what does their relationship look like? But it all comes down to Max Rodriguez. He is the glue for this side. You see 2 goals, 1 assist on the year, but does so much of the dirty work for Trevor James, whether it's passing, whether it's clogging up the passing lanes right in front of that back four, but also dictating tempo. He needs to be good today. He needs to get on the ball to play on his terms for Detroit City to be successful.
Those 4 changes for Trevor James. On the other side for Isidro Sanchez, it is 3 changes for Las Vegas Lights, including in goal, Andre Zuluaga, just his 2nd start.
And you look at that front line again, Preston, he's going to say hi. He's going to have the ability to stretch and ask questions of Detroit City in that back line. So it's Bagley underneath him. What does that relationship look like? But you look at Preston Taborda-Taka, the ability to create on his own, whether it's 1v1, whether it's combination plays, 5 goals on the year. You talked about the goals that he scored last time out. He's going to be confident, and he's going to need to get on the ball early and often and ask questions of the Vegas backline.
It is a beautiful evening for some soccer tonight, kicking off this doubleheader here on ESPN2. We'll have San Diego and New Mexico United for you coming up in just a couple hours. But what a great atmosphere. It is a beautiful night, and this is what Keyworth Stadium is all about, as it is absolutely packed. Las Vegas Lights coming in the Lion's Den, if you will. They are ready to go, just waiting on Detroit City. We can get this one underway. Nate Steinwasser, premier goalkeepers in the USL Championship. Just waiting on the whistle from our referee. Tonight it is Olvin Oliva. Northern Guard supporters, they are up for this one. Let's see whether it will be Detroit City or Las Vegas Lights to come away with the points tonight. The TIFO as well, just to set the mood. Setting the watch, and away we go. It is Detroit City, it is Las Vegas Lights. Just the 2nd time these 2 teams have ever squared off. Last year, a 1-0 win for Detroit against a very different looking Las Vegas side, but these 2 teams coming in tonight, we told you what this game meant for both in the open, and it really means a whole heck of a lot more for Detroit City. There's no doubt about that tonight.
And again, we talk about playoffs right around the corner, and you want to pick up maximum points when you're at home. No better atmosphere in the USL Championship than Keyworth. How can they feed off of the home faithful? Because the first 10 to 15 minutes is going to tell us a lot about who's going to impose their identity on the opposition.
Well, both teams coming off losses last week, and both teams were held scoreless a week ago. Las Vegas Lights, a 3-0 loss against Loudoun. That didn't do Detroit City any favors, because Detroit City, they lost 1-0 to Charleston here at home. Augie Williams scoring the lone goal in that one. Trevor James saying we just didn't play very well. We came off a good win as a shot comes on, and Nate Steinwasser forced into an early save. Continuing what Trevor James was saying last week, said we came off some good momentum. It was kind of stopped, though. They had a bye week during a 3-game unbeaten run, which featured 2 wins and a draw he said that really stopped our momentum. Just said we were a bit sluggish coming back, so he was looking for a quick start here tonight against Las Vegas.
And it's always interesting what the reaction are going to look like for both of these sides. Las Vegas Lights losing 3-0 at home against Loudoun United. Both teams losing at home, Josh. So again, the first 10 to 15 minutes feeling out. And again, I think if you're Trevor James, you want to get an early goal and really put this back line of the Las Vegas Lights on their heels. We talk about 41 goals against. That's not good enough for Isidro Sanchez. That's such a pinpoint that you have to work on, whether it's shape, balance. I think if you're Detroit City, Simonson, Morris, Williams, that relationship, one comes to feet, one going behind, always playing that cat and mouse game and asking questions and testing the shape is going to be key for the home side here today.
Long thrown and trying to flick that along is Tyler Bagley. It was interesting when we talked to Isidro Sanchez this week about the atmosphere. He says, I don't know a time when I've seen the fans come on the field and play. He said, this is just going to be an opportunity for us to go there, enjoy this atmosphere. He said, this team, they will not be scared of this atmosphere by any means.
And these are the games that you want to play in as a player. Obviously, it's loud. You feed off the energy, and there's no better thing than an athlete to come in and play spoiler, to shush this crowd, because this crowd is loud. They're going to be that 12th man for Detroit City. So, again, for Las Vegas Lights, yes, it hasn't been the best run of form in terms of result, in terms of productivity. Again, an opportunity to play spoiler number one, but also Isidro Sanchez didn't sugarcoat it, Josh, saying that, look, we have to play for our jobs, whether it's next year, whether it's to stay in Las Vegas Lights uniforms. You never know who's watching.
Another deflection out of play. It's a throw-in for Detroit on the far side. Long throw-in, just too far. Looking for the run of Ben Morris, the Ipswich product. 3 goals and an assist. His first season in the United States. Get a good look at Andre Zuluaga, who gets the start tonight. His first season with Las Vegas. Spent the last 4 years with Inter Miami 2 and the Inter Miami Academy. And it's usually Leo Diaz, the Argentine, who is on loan from River Plate. He's been the starting goalkeeper in every other game this season except for one. That was the one Zuluaga started in his hometown of Miami. And I think that was a bit of a surprise that it was a change in goal, and Diaz not on the bench tonight either. Stauffer, maybe a chance for a long throw here. Gets it into a good area. Bagley playing with his back to goal. There was a foul in there. And a free kick going back to Detroit.
I think you drop in Tyler Bagley underneath Preston. So it's a big emphasis on just the defensive duties of Maxi Rodriguez and Gasso. One has to provide that coverage in front of that back four, because when the ball gets by you, your job is not done. Bagley, he's going to be the number 10. He's going to want to play between the lines. And then we talk about Preston Timber-Ataka, the ability just to run into space. So that balance defensively for Detroit City needs to be very good here today.
Here's Lewis. Trying to chase that down to the middle. Amu Mensah got a touch onto it. Shot went wide, but the whistle came first. Free kick back to Las Vegas Lights.
You see a little bit of a different shape for the Lights defensively. Dropping down into a 4-5-1. Preston Timber-Ataka comes to his left-hand side. Tyler Bagley, he's going to be the focal point, trying to catch out in transition moments. So a nice little wrinkle for Isidro Sanchez, 7 minutes in here.
Pressure as Las Vegas looks to play out. Zuluaga trying to clear right through the middle. Maxi Rodriguez. He has scored some big goals in this club's history, and You go back to what they've been able to do in the US Open Cup. They went up against Minnesota United this year. They actually scored the opening goal in that game before they were eliminated. But you go back to what they did last year, that famous win against the Columbus Crew. Rodriguez scoring just an awesome goal and then going over to celebrate with the Northern Guard supporters on the far side. That's kind of the magic of Keyworth Stadium, and we've seen that in the past, and they're looking for some magic moments. You said 6 of their last 10 being at home for the rest of this season. They'll be leaning on that crowd to help them push forward and maybe into the playoffs. Preston trying to weave through. Preston at Amu Mensah deflects out for the game's first corner.
That is exactly what I'm talking about defensively. You see 3 Detroit City players. Once Preston picks up his head, closing down space. 8 minutes in, brilliant opportunity for Las Vegas Lights just to ask questions of Steinwasser and cause chaos within him and his back line.
Chance for Carlton to stand over this first corner kick. For that near post run, it's immediately headed away. Stoffer gets this into the box, deflection, takes it out of play. There'll be another corner kick here for the Lights.
Nice little change of pace, change of the angle from a deep line position. Preston, even better positioning for Amu Mensah to be turned on at every single moment, because Las Vegas Lights, they do have the ability to turn every single throw in from about 25 yards in to a set piece opportunity.
Carlton looking for better delivery this time around. Depth on this, flicked out of play, and they're saying it'll be out for a goal kick.
Jacob Boucher just getting away from his individual mark right in front of Carroll. Those are very difficult because you're outside of that near post. You just need to flick it on into a dangerous area. Angle's just so hard to go for a goal.
Simonson looking for that ball in behind. Zuluaga off his line, able to get there before Detroit City attacker. Detroit City with the early possession advantage, but it's something that Trevor James has talked about. It's getting into the final third. That's been a struggle for them, and once they get there, they haven't really been able to do much with it either.
On that last occasion, you just saw the movement as Simonson drops in. It's Reese Williams who makes that run from an outside position across that back line. So those are the type of movements to unbalance an opposition that you want to see more if you're Trevor James. But good on Zuluaga just to stay with the play and be quick off of his line.
To further that point of Detroit City in the attack, 24th, which is last in the USL Championship in terms of goals per game. 0.7, they've only scored 17. And they only average about 3 shots on goal a game. As Rodriguez is found in the middle. Andres Jimenez.
Going back to that point that you mentioned, Josh, Zuluaga hasn't seen much game time. So if you're Detroit City, you have to test him, and you test him early. Very often we see a goalkeeping change, whether it's due to injury, not to speculate, but Leo Diaz not even on the bench. So again, an attacking-minded player. You get a yard of space, 25, 20 yards in. You test Zuluaga here.
His one appearance all the way back in April, which was a big loss, 4-1 against Miami FC.
On the other side of that, it's an opportunity for him just to make that his position his. Keep your side in the same a team that needs points, that needs results quickly as playoffs are approaching around the corner. Take the sting out of this environment. You can do that, but just keeping the ball out of your own net.
Gasso through the middle. Simonson flicks it along. Williams trying to get around the corner. No whistle. Play on. Definitely some appeals for a foul, which would have been in a good area for a free kick. Instead, Vegas come back the other way, and Carlton goes down. He stays down, just for a moment. Gets back to his feet, and Detroit plays on. Simonson on the turn, able to keep his feet. And there's space out wide to run into. Bryant to the back post. It's overhit. Amu Mensah tracks it down. He looks to deliver, and it takes a big deflection out of play.
He can be such an X factor for this Detroit City side. 2 goals, 1 assist on the year, but something that Trevor James and his time at Loudoun United with Ryan Martin was always productivity, getting more goals, getting more assists, because you see here, already 15 minutes in, just the individual brilliance, a little flick around the corner, making his defenders miss. I think you drop him as a number 10 on that front line, he can be a massive addition for Trevor James. You just need to get him in around the goal and get him confident.
Busy slate of games across the USL Championship tonight, 10 in total. And one that might be of notice to Detroit, a 2-0 win for Birmingham over Louisville. As this cross fizzled in, second ball picked up by Williams. He tumbles over. Rodriguez. Here's Rutz. Again headed away. Be a chance for Preston to run, but Amu Mensah looking to shut that down as he does.
Really good defensive play, positioning from Amu Mensah. Brazil's the watch out.
And behind Zuluaga, using every inch available to him. Here's Preston. Carroll stepped in. Steinwasser able to get this away. Again, Preston looking to turn the corners. The cross is fired in, and a crucial header as this is headed out of play. It was Eric Otang who was waiting in there and looked like he had good positioning.
The ability to create something out of nothing from Preston, just gets around the corner, and it's all about the movement. Tyler Backley, he makes that near post run, he draws out Lewis. Last-ditch defending effort from Michael Bryan. Otang just gets his depth possession a bit off. Preston, he's been active. He's been so good on the front line. 60 minutes in for the visitors here.
Carlton, yet again, looking for that near-post flick. Didn't quite come. Maybe a chance for Detroit to get out and run, but that's shut down very quickly and skied out of play. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. I mentioned some of those other important games tonight. Hartford Athletic and Miami FC. Miami, another one of those teams vying for that final playoff spot. Loudoun, they're hosting Sacramento Republic as well. Indy 11 visiting El Paso later on tonight. We mentioned Birmingham's win over Louisville. It's very tight around that 8th spot, which is the last spot teams go into the playoffs this year, and last night it was Tulsa who currently holds that spot, losing 2-1 to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. A good result there for Detroit, but when it comes down to it for Detroit, they got to just get wins themselves. That's going to be the big thing.
Put yourself in a very good opportunity, especially when you have the majority of your remaining games at home. And I think that's such a massive part for Detroit City, because we talk about the travel, the adversity that comes in with USL Championship, going cross country. Trevor James, he's going to be delighted to have that many points available, playing in front of their home faithful. But again, it starts here. Really an opportunity here, and watch out.
Chance to run, maybe numbers. Oteng coming right through the middle. Ball's delivered in, and a pretty easy clearance there by Lewis. Detroit City get this away. Simonson, long run. Simonson got his head to it first. Beats Lodge to it. Simonson! Saved! It was parried right into the middle. Another chance, this one from distance, and blocked down. The strength from Simonson just to keep going.
He's been bright, he's been confident, and he's been testing the shape of Las Vegas Lights and their back line. But if you're Lodge, you need to be a bit stronger. You just get turned too easily. Simonson, just a little bit of a warning sign. This ability to create his individual shot as an attacking player is so important. If he picks out a corner, it's probably 1-0 to the home side. Big time save from Zuluaga.
Simonson has 2 goals this season, both of them coming in wins. A 3-1 win against Hartford, a 1-0 win against San Antonio. And he hasn't scored since June. Picked up again, Rutz. It's deflected out, and it's the first corner kick of the night for Detroit City.
I think if you're Las Vegas Lights, it needs to be a bit more compact in your defensive structure. Too many times it's players getting pulled out of position, then isolating your 2 center defenders with the movement between Rutz, Williams, Simonson, and Morris. Very frustrating, just trying to play out of the back and who to mark who.
Maxi Rodriguez. Nothing doing on the corner. I'll leave it for Amu Mensah to come over and throw. And a rather third will be Michael Bryant. Long throw. Not a lot of room on those touch lines for a run up and get that ball into the box. Bryant again, good depth on it. Simonson. Here's Amu Mensah. Williams is headed towards goal, but not much on it. And Zuluaga an easy claim. He's looking for the quick distribution. Williams able to keep this in play. Preston will take it right off him. Aboard Ataka Preston. Cross coming in, Steinwasser somehow plucks that out of the air in front of Tyler Bagley.
But give credit to Zuluaga. He understands that Detroit City overcommits. Transition moments. You put the ball into space, Tabor Ataka. He's going to run. He's going to outpace his individual mark. Or Bagley makes that near post run, and Steinwasser just steals the ball on top of his head. Big time goalkeeping on both ends. I think it's such an important part for a goalkeeper nowadays, just the progression of football, the ability to pick out a pass with your feet, to dictate tempo, to slow things up or even speed it up in that instance from Zuluaga, and almost draws first blood for the visitors.
for Las Vegas Lights this year, just 2 wins. Their first one coming back in May. It was a 1-0 win on the road against Phoenix Rising. And then more recently, on August 5th, a 2-1 victory over RGV. It's just 1 win in their last 12, but we mentioned just how many of these losses have been so close. 8 of their 13 by just 1 goal. And that goes along with 8 draws as well. Simonson for Williams. Las Vegas getting a lot of blocks on a lot of these crosses and shots. It'll be another corner for Detroit City.
It's been good individual defending from the back line of Las Vegas Lights. But that midfield line, that's where the questions have to be asked, whether it's Jimenez and Bushu getting pulled apart far too easily. How many times have we seen Simonson pop off of that back line, spin, and have so much real estate to operate in? But in the end, Mitrano, Zali, Lage, and Stauffer have been spot on in their positioning.
Maxi Rodriguez curls this in into a good area. Carroll looking to track this down. He'll keep it alive. Center back looking to deliver. There might be a chance now to break. Otang, his pass off the mark.
It's interesting, Josh, going back to that point that you mentioned. 8 of their losses have been by 1 goal from this Las Vegas Lights side, and that's something that we brought up to Sergio Sanchez. And he was quick to point out, saying, look, we've been so good. We've been in every single game that we've played against. But it's just been managing moments, being a bit more clinical in and around your 18-yard box and sticking the ball in the back of the net. Because much like Detroit, they create opportunities, but just don't have the quality and the composure to turn those opportunities into chance creations, to get the final product, and to get points higher up the table.
Well, Vegas has really struggled in the attacking area, mostly because they've lost a couple of their strikers. Pato Botello Faz, a season-ending injury. Hugo Torres leaving the club, now playing in Costa Rica. They're looking for somebody to fill in that vacancy. Josh Dalling has come in on loan from New Mexico. He has yet to score. He's on the bench tonight. It's really just been kind of scoring by committee, if you will, and unfortunately, it hasn't quite gone according to plan. 5 goals for Preston, team lead. Carroll, a bit awkward. Trying able to clear it. Morris just couldn't bring it onto his foot. Mensa, he couldn't keep it either.
Tyler Bagley there, you need to be a bit better in terms of just keeping possession. Lucas Stauffer does a very good ball around the corner as he continues his run. If you just bop it back into him, you have an overcommit, an overload centrally. I think that's going to be really important for Las Vegas Lights, just to get a hold of this game, really take the sting out of the fans, get some possession and get some confidence within the squad.
Moved out wide, it's Bryant. Cross bouncing in, and able to clear this away. It's a foot race to try to keep it and shut down a counterattack. And Bryant slides in expertly. Long switch of play, this will stay in. Mensa stepping around a challenge. Gasso coming right through the middle, looking to lay this off. Simonson spinning, moving it out wide. Williams, the cross, he put it in a great area. Nobody there to attack it. A bit of throwing out of it.
And exactly right, if you're Reese Williams, you're begging for someone to make that far post run, because if they do, it's a tap-in. the run for Morris. He pulls out a center back, but you need a secondary runner crashing that far post, because Reese Williams, he's put 1, 2, 3 very dangerous balls in this first half.
Simonson trying to turn. A couple of white jerseys converged. So he committed the foul. So the 19-year-olds from Grand Blanc, Michigan, played in the USL Academy Cup last year in the Detroit City Academy, and recently signed a 4.5-year contract that is the longest in club history. And the youngster is going to stick around for the next few years. You go to college for 4 years. This is basically his 4 years, right? Preston. Met by Amu Mensah, who keeps it in play. Good battle between those two. Vegas able to keep it.
I'll tell you what, Amu Mensah has been spectacular. 28 minutes in, just isolating Preston. And he's one of the, if not one of the trickiest players in USL Championship to go 1v1, because he possesses everything. Pace, skillfulness, the ability to unbalance you. But Amu Mensah has been up to the challenge and answered every single question asked of him.
Mentioned the struggle to score for Las Vegas at times, but for Detroit City, it's pretty similar as well. They lost a lot of their scoring from last year, 18 goals and 19 assists. Pato, who is now playing for Las Vegas, although unfortunately injured. Declan Wynn, Antoine Openo have moved on. And in a way, Detroit City is kind of still looking to fill those voids. All the way back for Zuluaga. Carroll. He was fouled as he let go of that pass. It's up very quickly, would like a word with the referee.
This game is just asking for someone just to be a bit more patient in their build-up play. Move the ball from left to right, open up gaps of the opposition. When those gaps open up, how quickly can you penetrate? And a bit back and forth. Has really made themselves the dominant team here, losing the ball a bit easy for both ends.
Zali, all the way back to Zuluaga. The best thing for Zuluaga, he's been able to make at least a couple of saves in this game so far. His first appearance since April.
I'd argue as well, the most impressive thing has been his feet. How comfortable he is changing the point of attack.
Otang. Carlton to get away from Carroll and move this out wide. Bagley's calling for it in the middle. Bagley over the bar. Great delivery from Preston, and the finishing touch just not quite there.
The rotation has been lacking for Detroit City. That's your center back. He steps up, but look at the bottom of your screen. Bagley just gets a better body position of Michael Bryan off the corner of Carroll. You're Tyler Bagley, you're gonna want this one back. You just need to hit it too hard. Just get any sort of contact on it, get your body over the ball, and it's 1-0 to the visitors. As he's leaning back, he's lunging for it. That's why you see it go up and over the crossbar. Will take nothing away from a picture-perfect ball from Preston. Bends it right into the path to his running mate. Just needs a better end. A bit more quality in and around that 18-yard box, and those are the moments that Isidro Sanchez is going to point to throughout this season, saying, look, if we find the back of the net, this game can be completely different.
Simonson brought down by Lodge.
And he's been just so good at just feeling his individual marker handful of jersey. Yes, he makes the most of it, Simonson does. But he's always been so active, popping in the hole, getting in behind. So if you're that back four for Las Vegas Lights, the communication needs to be there. Lodge and Zali passing on Simonson to Jimenez and Bushu centrally, because you don't want to overlap. That's when confusion happens. That's when gaps open up.
Like that was a handball. Indeed it was. I think it's Andres Jimenez. It's one yellow card away from suspension for your yellow card accumulation. There'll be a set piece here for Maxi Rodriguez in Detroit City. I always say for teams that have struggled to score, set pieces can be so important. All the big bodies are forward here. Rodriguez, lofted ball in. Bryant in the right place to collect the rebound. Plenty of space here, maybe a chance to put your laces through it. Not able to initially. Now it's Simonson trying to side foot it. Amu Mensah off the mark. Nodded away, but not completely gone. Amu Mensah hooks it back in. Trying to run away, but Detroit City able to get this back. And they'll start it with Steinwasser from the back. Lewis, right through the middle, Simonson. Dispossessed by Zali. And the referee will bring play to a halt. Tyler Bagley, slow to get back to his feet. What a few chances this was for Detroit. Not necessarily a shot, but putting in dangerous areas.
I think you need to be a bit more decisive if you're Morris. And as this ball comes back, your Simonson just needs to be left-footed. You need to wrap your foot around it to that near post. Now Mensah, as the back end of it, just gets it all wrong. But as Simonson opens up his hips, that closes down his angle. It's not a natural movement. There's information on the ball from Morris that says you need to hit this first time. Get your hips around it, put your head down, and just swing at the thing with your left foot.
Gonna flick this around the corner. Bagley tries to cut it back. Otang couldn't get there in front of Williams. Look for that cut back pass. Can always be dangerous for those late arriving runners.
Been very impressed with Tyler Bagley, just in movement. The understanding when to drop off. Watch out.
Oh, it's a bad giveaway. It's an open goal. Can they take advantage? They can! Simonson gets his goal, and Detroit City is off the mark.
Just needs to be better in the back line, managing moments for Las Vegas Lights. There's two things here. If you're Zali, you need to be so sure there's not a play in the premise of Zuluaga. And Zuluaga needs to become a bit wider outside of his own 18-yard box. As Maxi Rodriguez picks up his head, take nothing away from the composure. Lets this play develop, lets Rutz make that near post run. And Simonson, you talked about him getting more productivity. Gets his third goal on the campaign. Detroit City, 1-0 at home.
his first goal since June. We mentioned his name quite a few times. You felt like it was coming, and the Northern Guard gets to release the smoke. Part of the atmosphere here at Keyworth Stadium. And once again, it is Las Vegas playing from behind, and self-inflicted mistake there, no doubt.
Give credit to Maxi Rodriguez. Yes, it's a bad ball back from Zali, but he's just so opportunistic. He's baiting the center back to play the ball. And it's soccer 101. If you're playing back into your goalkeeper, you have to be extremely certain that the ball's going to get to him. Overhit it, never underhit it. Maxi Rodriguez makes you pay.
Here's Carlton. 15th time that Las Vegas has conceded that first goal. Moved out wide for Preston. Preston gets around Amu Mensah. Preston! Oh, he went for power, and somehow Steinwasser holds on.
Just so good 1v1. So slippery, so decisive, and that's a nightmare for any defender. A little drop of the shoulder, but you just see the numbers. Someone's making that near post run. Andrew Carlton begging for the ball. Sweated across that 6-yard box. Elects to go by himself. Big time save from Steinwasser. Does not give any sort of real estate at that near post, but I think it's a bit selfish in the end from Preston. That ball needs to be cut back to the top of the 6-yard box, and it's 1-1.
Detroit 6 wins, 2 draws when they do get that opening goal. Played over the top again. Detroit City looking for more. So looking for Morris and off the mark. The big key for Detroit City, can they find a second goal? And the whistle will stop this attack. Last time they scored 2 was a 2-0 win against Louisville City. Before that, you have to go all the way back to the end of June when they scored 2 in a 3-2 loss against Tulsa. Aside from that, it's either 1 or none for Detroit City. That's just kind of how this season has gone. Finding a second goal would really take the momentum out of Las Vegas Lights.
And I do think if you're Detroit City, to get that second goal, you have to play a bit more between the lines. You need to get Rutz more involved. He's been extremely quiet 40 minutes in, and he's going to put the supply system underneath Simonson. Williams has faded a bit, so has Ben Morris. Those players, you need to get confident. Just combination play, pull those 2 center backs, because if you isolate those 2 center backs, just too much movement to cause chaos. I think that's something, if you're Trevor James, you want to right that wrong as this first half progresses.
Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, La Liga, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. And watch every game in the USL Championship and League One on ESPN Plus. Of course, don't forget, coming up next, doubleheader rolls on as we move out west to San Diego. Another battle of potential playoff teams there. San Diego maybe a little bit more comfortably in the mix than New Mexico United, who will be the opponents tonight. Williams. You go back to last week for Las Vegas. They outshoot Loudoun 19-9. They won 61% of their duels. Isidro Sanchez, all in all, was pretty happy with that performance. Do you feel like he'd be similarly happy to this first half so far?
I mean, the opportunities were there. You think of Tyler Bagley's opportunity that he just puts over the bar. Preston just makes the wrong decision. And if that Bagley chance goes into the back of the net, this game is completely different because, 5 minutes after Detroit City they get the opener. I do think they're creating opportunities, and Isidro's going to be happy about that. But it's just the same story for the 2023 campaign. Be more clinical, take your chances, be more composed in front of the goal. And again, 43 minutes in, I don't think you can say that for Las Vegas Lights.
Rodriguez knows when to go, knows when to slow things down as well. Great switch of play. Michael Bryant. Just not on the same page as Williams. A few tweaks and changes over the last few weeks, no doubt, for Trevor James and company. Mostly we've seen Detroit City in a back three or back five. Now it's back four, and the referee will bring this back. A foul here with the goal scorer Simonson down.
Just seems a bit more fluid than we've seen from Detroit City. 44 minutes in, especially on that front line. Reese Williams, yes, he's provided the outlet on this near side, but just a work rate very hard in the challenge because we've seen him play as an outside back for Trevor James in the past. You pushed him a line higher, so he needs to be a bit better in choosing his times, when to go, when to stay. Ben Morris, we've seen him play as the spearhead attacker. He plays out to his left-hand side, and then it's Simonson, the ability just to drop in and float between lines and always play that cat and mouse game. Again, I think that's something that you want to play more into if you're Detroit City. Ruts, play underneath him, combination play, I think is going to be key for Detroit City to get that secondary goal.
Simonson, he scored 2 goals last year with Loudoun. Now he's up to 3, so a career high after scoring the lone goal so far in this one. And all the way back, 36th minute. Be a late surge here. Stauffer. Preston. Delivery blocked down. Back in a good area. Trying to go quick. Some contact in the area. Not enough for a penalty. Rodriguez, cool as you like, playing out of the back. Williams on the run. Met by Zali. And 1 minute of stoppage time to close out this first half as Carlton is cut down.
And you need to get him on the ball a bit more if you're the Lights. He can be a game changer. He can produce that individual brilliant play, that little bit of a magic that's going to be needed in a game like this. Great ball.
Looking to slip this in behind. Bagley up to turn it back, and he was in an offside position. Good opportunities, and I think the best one for Vegas coming Tyler Bagley, but not able to find the finish. Still looking for his first goal contribution in his first season with Las Vegas Lights. Coming into this game, at least from a Detroit City perspective, you felt like this was a game you absolutely had to have. So far, so good. And there is the final whistle to bring this first half to a close. It's been a rowdy first half here at Keyworth Stadium, and the crowd able to celebrate one Detroit City goal.
I think that second goal is going to be so important for Detroit City to create a little bit of breathing room, because you know Las Vegas Lights, they're one magic play away from tying this thing up. You need to get Carlton more involved. Between him, Preston, Jimenez, and Bush, you need to settle things down centrally a bit more for Isidro Sanchez. But for Detroit City, I think you need to get Connor Rutz involved a bit more underneath Simonson. That attacking unit needs to be confident, especially in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
When the teams hit the locker rooms for halftime, and we will see if there is a change in the scoreline come the second 45 minutes. Detroit City in Keyworth Stadium. It's always a fun atmosphere, as it is here tonight. It's the USL on ESPN. It's Detroit City 1. It's Las Vegas Lights 0. Halftime here, Hamtramck, Michigan, Keyworth Stadium. Detroit City leading Las Vegas Lights by a 0-0. It's the USL on ESPN. For all you gamers out there, the USL is now on eFootball. Let's learn a little bit more.
He's had a shot! It's a good ball and it could be a big chance! It's in! Tries a shot! He scores! Big moment! Massive goal!
USL fans can now play as their favorite USL Championship team and complete the weekly challenge to obtain in-game rewards. Scan the QR code to download eFootball 2023 on your favorite console, PC, or mobile device. It is free to play. Halftime here from Keyworth Stadium. Detroit City out in front. They lead by a goal to nil. Packed house here at Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Michigan, just outside Detroit, as Detroit City leads by a goal to nil over Las Vegas Lights. As we look back at the first 45 minutes of action, some good opportunities. No doubt in this game for both sides. Obviously, Detroit able to get that goal, but we start things off right in the first minute. Las Vegas started bright.
And it all comes down to press and the understanding between him and Tyler Bagley. That's such an easy save for the quality of a goalkeeper that Steinwasser is. But then we start to see Simonson. He was getting more involved. He was pulling out the two center backs, and he was just a handful all first half.
Big save there from Zuluaga, then 21st minute. This is when Preston really started to get going.
And again, Tyler Bagley just makes that near post run, and that's such an important run for an attacking unit because it pulls out a center back, but Steinwasser just pulls the ball literally straight off of his head. Tyler Bagley says, what else can I do? This is the best opportunity of the first half for Las Vegas Lights. What a brilliant ball in. Just pays it into the pace. Tyler Bagley needs to do better there.
And then the goal, and this is just one to forget for Zali.
Just needs to be better. Understanding the moment, understanding who's around you. It's emergency ball into Zuluaga. but give credit to Maxi Rodriguez, just the composure, because so many players, as they turn the corner, they'll go for goal. As he takes a little deep breath, he lets Simonson come involved, and he's never going to miss. The player of the quality that is Detroit City. They get their opening goal.
And then the response, and Preston, he's been amongst it for tonight for Las Vegas.
And a player that we highlighted in the open for a reason, because he can create that little bit of magic, create something out of nothing. It makes a wrong decision in the end, but elects to go for goal. Big time save once again from Steinwasser.
Well, the chances have been pretty even across the board. The possession skewed in favor of the home side, but Vegas, as they have been, they're in it.
And I do think for Las Vegas, this next 5 minutes to really get on the front foot, to create that opportunity and ask questions of Steinwasser, because if they can get an opening goal, it's going to be a very interesting second half. But for Detroit City, how quickly can you get in a rhythm and really dictate tempo and really put a lot of pressure on the back line for the Lights that are very vulnerable as of late.
Halftime here from Keyworth Stadium. Will there be a comeback in the second half from Las Vegas, or can Detroit City hold on at home? It's the USL on ESPN, and the second half is next. Getting you set for the second 45 minutes of action tonight from Keyworth Stadium here in Hamtramck, Michigan. Well, so much of this club is about the community, and Black Star is a national program facilitating the growth of soccer in Black American communities. This program is committed to cultivating Black soccer culture, providing players access to soccer development pathways, and building fan communities through real-world and digital experiences. And Le Rouge have really become a flagship for this national initiative, which mirrors the club's community commitment to providing access to the sport. And this is such a community club. Some of the members of Black Star Detroit also in attendance here tonight. You can follow them on social media at BlackStarUS_. Such a community club. You see where the stadium is built. It's pretty much built in a neighborhood. There's a playground just over the wall to the right. The trains passing by. This is a community club through and through. As we welcome you back here for the second 45 minutes. Former pro striker Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Josh Eastern. As the second half is underway. We said coming into tonight, the big question was, can Detroit City get things back on the right track? Their form hasn't necessarily been too bad as of late. They just aren't looking to stockpile some wins here in the latter part of the season. And this is not good news here for Rhys Williams, as he is down and in some pain and holding on to that right knee.
There's a bit of an awkward coming together between him and Amu Mensah. Hitting knees, that's never fun. On the back end of it, you just see Rhys Williams goes down right after. Good to see him up on his own power. He's such a focal point for what Detroit City likes to do on both sides of the ball.
Drop ball to put it back in play. Looks like Williams will be okay to continue on here. Getting a little bit closer in the standings here tonight, at least around that 8th spot in the East, with Miami up 2-0 on Hartford. And of course, this scoreline here tonight, Loudoun losing 1-0 against Sacramento. Closing out 3 points tonight, really make it tight. That ball just going out of play. A win tonight would put Detroit City just 2 points behind the pace set currently by FC Tulsa and Miami FC on 29 points. Rodriguez couldn't keep it. Chance to let Otang get upfield. Here's Eric Otang trying to turn the corner. Block cross, who to come off of last? It was the Las Vegas Lights attacker. Another solid defensive play put in by Matt Lewis.
Always have to have that balance and not leave yourself open in transition moment, excuse me. But what a fantastic challenge that is from Lewis. He needs to time it to perfection and does just that.
Lewis, the Fordham product. Also spent some time in the Sporting Kansas City Academy. Foul against Vegas. We've seen this a little bit across the league, most notably with Carnardo Forbes in Pittsburgh, but he played 4 years for the KC Comets in the indoor league, did Lewis. Sure, technically got to be pretty good in those tight spaces.
I think that's plays just to his advantage as a center back, just so comfortable on the ball. Very good in tight spaces, very good 1v1, and it was on display there.
Mensah looking for Simonson, Lodge. But a nod this back to Zuluaga. Long over the top yet again, Otang. Bryant will let this run out of play. Half of Detroit City's 6 wins this season have come by a 1-0 scoreline. I guess you could say they are comfortable playing in these sorts of positions. Otang just couldn't keep that in play. For Las Vegas, they've already played 11 matches against the Eastern Conference, this being their last. 7 losses and 4 draws. And just 2 wins all time against cross-conference opposition. 2-12-6. Simonson steps over a couple challenges and finds Williams. Stauffer does very well defensively. And Preston earns the foul. There'll be a yellow card coming. It doesn't look like it.
Really good defending individually from Lucas Stauffer, because it's an overload on this near side. Reese Williams is waiting for Almumenta to come around the corner. That's the time it to perfection, when to release, and he does stays his ground, picks a pocket, and now Las Vegas Lights on the attack once again.
And flag is up, and will deny Preston going in behind.
But those are the movements that if you're Cedro Sanchez, you can see him applauding his boys. You play inside to go out. Preston, he's going to stay high. He's going to stay high and wide. He's going to occupy a lot of space and ask a lot of questions of Almumenta, because he needs to make a decision. Do you stay centrally and compact with his back four, or just go out and isolate and face him? So decision-making throughout the whole back line of Detroit City in the second half needs to be very good.
Mensah let that go. Now the referee will bring this back. He looked like he was cut down. It looks like a yellow card could be coming here.
Just a bit late on the follow through here. Preston studs are exposed. I think there's a lot of ill will there, but when you put your foot high and you show your bottom of your cleat, you're always going to get in trouble. And Momentum makes the most of it, and now Preston on a yellow card. 54 minutes in. It's that mental battle, decision making, what challenges he needs to go into. His positioning needs to be a lot better for the remainder of the second half.
Here's Simonson. Switching the point of attack. And space to utilize as Bryant sends the cross in. A chance to release now. Preston. I think that came off of him last. That should be a throw into Detroit, and it is. Another throw in here for Detroit. I'm talking with Trevor James this week about the playoffs. He said, do you bring that up? And he says, it's a bit of a conversation, maybe more between the players. But he says it's more one game at a time. He just says basically, we need to get numbers high up the field. We need to score goals. That's what he's worried about. Players, maybe they can talk about it a little bit more. But for him, his message, let's just focus on the game in front of us. There's Preston going from distance. Now off to the far side. It's a big save from Steinwasser. And this ends up out of play for a goal kick. Boy, Steinwasser putting his body on the line and had to make a big save to deny Oteng.
Just comes from nothing. Preston sees a real estate, essentially advances his run. As his ball pops out to Oteng, tries to go for that near post, but talk about Steinwasser. Not the first save, but it's a reaction right after. The rebound straight back to Oteng, but the ability just to close down that space extremely quick, to make himself big, to not give any sort of secondary action. Big time between the sticks for Detroit City.
Steinwasser is Detroit City through and through. His 8th season with the club. He's won Golden Gloves in the past. Played his college soccer at Detroit Mercy. As Williams looks to track this down. Defended by Lage. As the cross comes in. A bit behind the intended target there. Gasso. Williams again, all the way to the back post, and it needed a touch to put it out of play. Get it away from danger, but now it's a corner kick.
But it's better for him, the home side, just committing more numbers in around that 18-yard box. On the back end of it, look at all the players in a Detroit City jersey. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trailing. And that's something that you mentioned Trevor James wants to see. He's getting it, especially in the second half, because Maxi Rodriguez is having that late trailing run, which is so hard to pick up defensively.
Here's Rodriguez, curling it in. Bounces all the way through. Preston, nothing doing. To your point on Maxi Rodriguez, Trevor James says maybe he doesn't feel like he's having as good of a season as he was last year, just based on numbers of goals and assists. He's only has 2 goals and an assist. And he's trying to follow up what he was able to do last year. He mentioned that big goal that he scored against Columbus in the Open Cup. He scored some big goals throughout the season, but I guess he's not the only one that struggled to score the ball this year for Detroit.
I think off the ball, what he just brings you as well, just that leadership, the composure, the presence in the center of the park, the ability just to connect passes from left to right, front to back. And yes, Trevor James has said, look, you can't expect to score double digits every single time, because that's a high bar to raise yourself to, and that's nothing wrong with that. Of course, he has the ability to do that, but it's off the ball that I think is just so important for Maxi Rodriguez, because he's a player that, yes, if you watch him, he does such good stuff on the ball. You take him out of the lineup, there's a big gaping hole centrally, and I think he's such an important piece for Detroit City.
Cross cleared away. There's 9 goals last year for Maxi Rodriguez. A little bit behind that pace this year. Be a throw into Las Vegas. Play this in behind. Amu Mensah got his head to it. He might turn into an attack the other way here. Able to turn the corner is Connor Rutz. White jersey's getting back defensively. Simonson, it just bounced away from him. Rutz starting that all the way from his defensive duties. It'll run out of play. Good spell there from number 11. Reaching the hour mark tonight. Remember, the first of two in this USL Championship doubleheader here on ESPN2. San Diego and New Mexico coming up next. Simonson. He felt like he maybe could have gotten a little bit closer to goal there, but he's feeling it tonight. He's made some nice runs. Of course, he has the goal tonight. And a substitution coming here. It's the end of the night for Andres Jimenez. It's the first sub of the match. And we'll see Justin Ingram come on. The Indianapolis native made 30 appearances with Indy 11 a season ago. His first season here with the Lights. Zali. Here's Otang. Otang gets the cross away, deflects it in the middle. Carlton couldn't get the shot away. Mushu trying to put it back in the middle. It may have come off his hand. There might be a yellow card shown here. Conversation with Justin Ingram, who got out of the fields maybe a minute ago.
Otang has really came alive in the second half. As this ball comes back, I think if you're pressing able to tuck, you have to leave this for Andrew Carlton because it sets up so nicely for him. The ball's coming over his left shoulder. Watch out, it's a foul.
Now Williams brought down. You said it earlier, he's mostly played as a defender, a wing back in his career. Moved up to that front line. He's caused some havoc tonight.
Just the work rate is just so high, the never give up attitude. And also the quality on the ball from Rhys Williams. Ball's off, but quickly gets up and then takes a contact from Bushu, but there's no need if you're Jacob Bushu. Yes, you're doing very well to double down. You don't need to lunge into that. You have Lucas Soffer there. Your job is done. He's playing negative. He's going towards the corner flag. But as you lunge into it, Rhys Williams takes a contact, and now you have a very dangerous set piece for the home side for Maxi Rodriguez and Connor Rutz. Cause all sorts of chaos for Zuluaga.
Dangerous area to serve this ball from, and it's Maxi Rodriguez. Rodriguez delivers, he goes for goal, and Zuluaga at full stretch. And that's why you keep those two men there to protect the near post, but Rodriguez, that's a fine effort.
And a plethora of options. Because these are the ones that if you go for that back post with the traffic, any sort of deflection throws off Zuluaga, tries to catch him cheating. Zuluaga, that's textbook goalkeeping. Trusting his walls, seeing the ball, full extension, big time save.
Referee making sure everybody's cordial here before the corner comes in. Fourth corner kick of the night. Rodriguez delivers again. It's right on top of goal and deflected out of play. Carroll up for it this time. He's trying to figure out how he didn't score it.
Brilliant ball in. Just doesn't get enough contact on it. Looks like it hits off his shoulder between him and Zali there. At the doorstep. Carroll's going to want that one back.
They have a different setup this time from Detroit City. Everybody lined up right near the penalty mark. Rodriguez headed away again. Rutz Actually might work out. Slice it all the way out there for Rodriguez, but the flag up for offside. Represent your favorite USL Championship team as part of the USL Esports Hub launching next week. Join a Konami eFootball tournament on Xbox, PlayStation, or mobile by scanning the QR code or by visiting rivalgames.com/play/USL to get started.
It'll be interesting to see how the rest of this match plays out for Las Vegas Lights, because this man comes in, he's going to be a deep-lying midfielder. So you're going to see Jacob Bouchou get involved a bit more attacking-wise, so the balance is going to be completely different for Las Vegas Lights, because before it was Jimenez and Bouchou, very players that are very alike, that like to sit right in front of that back four to be that double pivot. You bring in Ingram, you have Jacob Bouchou. Now, one has the ability, the license to venture forward and to create overload essentially on that front line for the Lights.
Preston down the line, and the cross just all wrong there, unfortunately. It's been a tough one at times tonight for Tyler Bagley.
Does all the hard work to get himself into very good positions and around that 18-yard box, but time after time it's the quality that lets him down. Efficient. You got the final action on the ball. Player that's still looking for his first goal of the season.
We talked about the defense so much for Detroit City. That's what they've been able to hang their hat on this year, and I think that's a big reason why they're still hanging around the playoff mark at this point in the season. Fourth in the league in terms of goals conceded a game at just 1. Conceded 24. 7 clean sheets, including 2 in the last 4 games. Got 2 clean sheets in those 2 straight wins a couple weeks ago against Louisville and against Monterey Bay. They're trying to find an 8th clean sheet here tonight. Substitution here for Detroit City. We'll see Richard Ballard come onto the field to replace tonight's goal scorer, Skage Simonsen.
Really busy shift. Where Simonsen was so active, getting on the ball, the confidence that he instilled in his side. Now you have Richard Ballard, a player that is so slippery, so good on the ball, so skillful. I think that's going to put Ben Moore essentially on the top line. Richard Ballard's going to play to this right-hand side. Talk about the fluidity now for Detroit City. Different formations, different relationships all over the field. So how quickly can Richard Ballard get to rhythm and get the tempo here?
Ballard, who spent the last couple of years with Miami FC, has battled some injuries. Before that with Louisville City. Here's Stauffer. Remember back to that first win of the season against Phoenix Rising. What a ball he whipped in. That led to the game-winning goal for this Las Vegas side. Foul on the far side. That's against Ballard, just onto the field. A free kick to the Lights. They elect to go quick. Carlton. Otang moves it out wide. Las Vegas trying to be patient here. Otang. It's around the corner. Gets the cross in for Bagley. He just couldn't settle it. There's some contact there in the center circle as Lage collects it again for Las Vegas.
Once again, just breaks down with Bagley. Otang does everything right. Picks his head out, picks out a white jersey. Because the back line for Detroit City, they're retreating towards their goal line, so the cutback ball is always on. Hasn't been as clean as he would like, Tyler Bagley, here today.
Here's Rutz. Rutz serves. Rodriguez keeps it alive. Contact in the box. I think Detroit making the most of that. And the service is out of play. It looks like a substitution coming. This is one we probably expected, the scoreline being where it's at. Josh Dalling, loanee from New Mexico United. He will enter the fray. This is Eric Otang who will make way.
I think it's an interesting sub for Sergio Sanchez. Not with the player that's coming in, but the player that's coming off. Otang, he was causing so much havoc on that far side, just providing the ball into a dangerous area. And now you have Josh Dalling. He's going to stay high. He's going to occupy no-nonsense number 9, a player that likes to get on the end of things. So what does the service look like into him for Sergio Sanchez? Because he's going to be a player that can bring in players and run off of him.
Preston just able to keep this alive. Trying to switch the point of attack. Nothing coming there. Bagley just going to go on with it here as Bryant is still off the field. Here's Dalling as it comes in field. The shot, though, blocked down. Stauffer settles. Stauffer. Lofted forward, more of a hopeful ball than anything. Carroll nods it away. Stauffer trying to keep this alive. He couldn't do it. Ingram, that might get him booked. He's already been warned. And the second half substitute has his name taken. Second yellow card of the game.
Rhys Williams doing everything right here tonight. Turning defense into offense, but watch the hips of Ingram. They get squared far too easily. It's a ball just around the corner, and he's caught flat-footed. Rhys Williams just so good at drawing contact, making the most of it, and getting players in trouble. So much like Preston, Ingram, he's played centrally. A lot of numbers in around him. So his decision-making, his discipline is going to be tested for the remainder of this match.
Carroll off the free kick. Here's Bryant. Just eludes Rhys Williams and runs out of play. So we get in the last quarter of an hour of this game. This is when, unfortunately, Las Vegas has not been the cleanest defensively. They've conceded 10 goals this year in the last 15 minutes, including 6 in their last 6 games. That's when a lot of those results have gotten away from them. Wins have either turned into draws, or mostly draws have turned into losses. Carlton. Preston, Stauffer in support. Preston out of play yet again. can't watch the match, shown on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. 15 minutes to go as part of this USL on ESPN doubleheader, the first of two. This is played over the top. Here's Darling. Trying to lay this off. The shot comes on, and Steinwasser, he's there yet again.
What Darling brings you, just a focal point to play off of, does extremely well just to require so much attention, so that's going to free up a secondary runner. Ingram makes that late trailing run centrally. Doesn't hit it as cleanly as he would like, but once again Steinwasser securely grabs it.
Stauffer.
Just doesn't hit it with enough power. Right idea, just the execution has been lacking.
Stauffer, long throw, flicked along, Steinwasser. There was some contact there. The referee lets it go. Stauffer using every inch available to him on the near touchline. It's almost like the Cameron Indoor of the USL Championship. Tight quarters along the touchline. Student section or supporter section right on top of you. Stauffer was in an offside position.
But now if you're Detroit City, you have to be aware of that. I mentioned it in the first half. Anything about 30 yards in, Lucas Stauffer has the ability just to throw in the ball and put it into a dangerous area from a throw-in. So you have to think twice about putting the ball over the white line.
Here's Bryant. Again, deflected out of play. Or not. Maybe that just skirted the touchline. It did. Everybody stopped. This is over the top. Zuluaga, he's there. Stauffer. Again headed away. A lot of hopeful balls forward here from Las Vegas. And more of a target man now with Darling up there. As this is sent in again, but quickly cleared away by Lewis.
And if you're going to play direct for the remaining of this match, second balls become so vital for the success of your side. For Las Vegas Lights, you're looking at players centrally.
Stauffer lofting this in. Bit of a nervy header there at the back post, and it deflects out for another corner kick. Fourth of the game coming here for Las Vegas. Their first of this half.
And then you're looking at this man, Ingram Boucher, to provide that secondary option underneath Darling. For Detroit City, the players in the center of the park, whether it is Rutz, Rodriguez, and Gasso, have to have the ability to double down and drop back and deal with second balls, as we see Tyler Bagley just walking in to Steinwasser.
Ingram, good bend on this, and it's cleared away. And a whistle will stop play. Looks like a yellow card is going to be shown. Looks like that might be to Nate Steinwasser. Well, what's the decision here?
If you're calling a foul, it needs to be a pen. Not enough in that. Yes, there sure is a pull down, but it would have been very harsh to point to the spot. My question is, Josh, if he gets a yellow card, it needs to be a penalty.
And I think that's what Jacob Buchu is trying to argue here. Now, he was putting his finger to his ear like he was listening to somebody. I think that was his AR talking to him. I wonder if that was before the corner kick was taken, and it looks like they'll get to do this again. So because it was before the corner kick, the ball wasn't in play yet, and they will get to take the corner again. So a yellow card to Nate Steinwasser. And the first corner kick never happened. This is it. And that's definitely the argument from Vegas now.
If I'm Tyler Bagley, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm standing my ground right in front of Steinwasser and Maxi Rodriguez. Anything I'm feeling, I am going down, and I'm forcing the issue of the center referee here.
Ingram delivers again. Bryant up to head it away. Stauffer. Stauffer keeps it alive, and now it's Carlton. It's been a better spell here from Las Vegas as of late. A little bit more time on the ball as they send more numbers upfield. Tammany are back to defend. Here's Reese Williams. Williams trying to go end line, fires it across, and all the way out of play.
Right idea from that man, Reese Williams. Drops his shoulder here, beats his individual mark. There's a bit too much pace on the ball across to let Richard Ballard make that second run. Ben Norris makes that near post run. He pulls out Lage and opens up a big gaping hole in the back end of it, but just too much pace from the ball across.
Preston couldn't keep it. And a substitution here for Detroit City. O'Neal Fisher will be coming on. The youngster, Dominic Gasso, made just his 4th start of the season. And now it's the experience of O'Neal Fisher.
Defense-minded change here for Detroit City. You take out a center midfielder, you bring in a defender. You drop in Connor Rutz now, and you go into a 5-4-1 formation. Try to see this thing out. But I think it's always interesting when a team drops back into 5 because it's not natural. So many times it's that, are you going to go, am I going to go? So communication becomes such a big part.
The counterpoint to that is they recently changed formation from a 3 or a 5 to a 4 back, so it might lend itself maybe a little bit nicer to them. Amu Mensah gets this away.
Now the back 5 for Detroit City will be O'Neal Fisher, Amu Mensah, Lewis Carroll, Michael Bryant on the far end.
Lofting this forward. And it's cut out. Williams seemingly has found more energy as this game has gone on. Cross fired in. There was some contact there as it came in for Ballard. And again cleared. Attacking numbers almost, actually they are even. 10 shots for both teams, 4 shots on target for both teams. Difference is just the 1 on the score sheet for Detroit City. That coming all the way back in the 36th minute. Skage Simonson as the flag is up for offside.
Your attention please, attendance for tonight's match is 7,181.
Great crowd once again here at Keyworth Stadium. They're trying to set the mood here. The lights are going on, but don't they want to turn the lights out? Shouldn't that be the goal here, Ricky?
What a fantastic atmosphere this is. True 12th man Detroit City has here. I think you talk to every single coach around USL Championship saying what field, what environment do you not want to go into? Detroit City always is at the top of that list. Watch out, it's a hard challenge.
It is a hard challenge. Ballard went into it, connecting with Carlton. It looks like a yellow card is in the hand of the referee. And Las Vegas trying to lobby maybe for a little bit more. Alvin Oliva with the big decision here.
Yes, it's late, but I think it would have been extremely harsh to get red there. His legs are tucked underneath him. It's his arms that make contact with the midsection of Andrew Carlton. I think if Richard Ballard extends his legs and shows his studs, that's when you start to see the orange and red come out of the pocket of the referee. Don't think there's much ill will there. It just loses his footing. And Andrew Carlton is just playing out quicker to the ball. That takes nothing away from how hard the contact is, though. Andrew Carlton feeling it. Good to see him back on his own power, walking away. But well-deserved yellow card for Richard Ballard.
And it looks like more subs coming as Ballard has conversation with the referee and officially goes into the book. And the sub here for Las Vegas will be the very well-traveled Argentine. Emmanuel Ledesma comes on. And that will be the end of the night for Andrew Carlton. Ledesma's played all over the world. Last played in Chile, time in Italy, England, in MLS with FC Cincinnati, 2021 with Indy 11. Comes on to try to find something at the end of this, the 35-year-old. Here's Ingram. Stauffer. It's obviously not looking very good for the playoff hopes for Las Vegas. They're not eliminated as of yet, though. They still have a small percentage of an opportunity. And it's also a chance for them to play some spoiler here down the stretch. And as you said, you never know who's watching. All these players, coaches, playing for their futures, their jobs with this club or maybe another one.
And that's something that Isidro Sanchez was quick to point out on our phone call, saying not only the players, but myself included. It hasn't been good enough in terms of the results. 2-13-8. But yes, 8 of those losses have been by 1 goal, so that tells you just managing moments. And again, there's no different in this game. How does that goal concede? Zali's just a bit too casual, playing into the back of Zuluaga, gets his pocket picked. You're down 1-0 and not having the enough efficiency on the front end of it.
6 minutes added on. We mentioned that Detroit City had only scored 7 goals at home coming into this game tonight. They'd only conceded 7 goals also. Very strong defensively. Stauffer has to loft this one up, and it's knotted away. No need to turn the dial. Still 1 more game coming up after this one. San Diego and New Mexico. We'll take you there right as this game concludes. 5 minutes away, and a long throw here. Preston. Stauffer. Play continues on.
That's a foul.
That screeching you heard, I think, was the train, not the whistle.
That's a foul, and Zali just comes in on the back and then takes out on a rut.
All the way towards the end line, and out for a goal kick. Las Vegas playing hard right until the final whistle, that's for certain.
Scrapping for every 50-50 ball. Nothing to hang your hat on if you're Cedro Sanchez. The effort is always there, the character.
Rodriguez has moved along up the field for Richard Ballard. Ballard, too much there. Boy, when you're fighting for a playoff position, you're trying to come from behind in the playoff race, and you're holding on. There'll be some nervy moments here at the end. Stauffer. Here's Preston. Trying to run right at this back line. And look at all those red shirts that come over. Rodriguez. Can Detroit City put this one on ice? Ball it was. Ledesma was appealing for it. He'll get it. Stauffer couldn't get there, but he will get a throw in. Stauffer, long throw, looking for the flick. Lodge couldn't move it along. And it's thumped clear once again. Everybody back defending here for Detroit City. Zuluaga tries to keep it moving. Long ball forward again. Preston nods it down. He's on his backside trying to keep it alive. Bagley. Rodriguez. It's a foul against Bouchou and a yellow card as well. And a free kick to Detroit City with less than 90 seconds.
Be fair, he makes first contact with the ball. But as he comes across Maxi Rodriguez, I think the angle that the referee sees it as gets him in trouble. the game changed for Las Vegas Lights. When you bring in Ingram, you have him next to Jacob Bushu. A different dynamic essentially, just gives you a bit more freedom to float in and out of lines to create overloads, whether it's on wide areas or central areas.
If this result holds, Detroit City will be within 2 points of the last playoff spot, which is currently held by FC Tulsa, but Miami FC also on 29 points with FC Tulsa. Would that come off of last? If it spins out of play, it should be a throw in here for Las Vegas. One last opportunity. Stoffer, long throw. Just waiting on the final whistle now. There it is. Detroit City victorious. The one goal is all they need. They are 1-0 winners tonight.
Something that Trevor James was quick to point out, saying we needed numbers higher up the field. You get your goal because you're opportunistic. You commit overloads on the front line. Big 3-point for Detroit City.
Well, that'll do it for our coverage tonight from Detroit. For our entire crew, broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Josh Eastern. Stay with us right here on ESPN2. We'll send you to San Diego. It's San Diego Loyal, New Mexico United. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, over to you.
Bagley, just in movement, the understanding when to drop off, watch out.
Oh, it's a bad giveaway. It's an open goal. Can they take advantage? They can. Simonson gets his goal, and Detroit City is off the mark.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
He said he's conceded too many goals in the second phase, and I said,
That's right. What do you mean by that? He means by the replay back in?
recycling it. So
Yeah.
watch the second phase call. Okay, so let me just go with that because it's just a nice one to say.
Be cleaner. Be cleaner on service.
Okay, so this is them defending.
Yeah.
So they must clear the ball quickly.
Yeah.
Because if we don't clear, then it becomes second phase. If we drop it down, then they recycle it, and then so the bottom line is just get the ball the hell out of there, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't win it, then get to the second ball quickly. So something like that. Too many goals scored on second phase balls. I think of an example. Okay, so I'll do that one, and then Orange County. The hell.
I mean, the easy thing we could say is provide support for Olofsky since he's been the one scoring. Or is that too cliche?
Yeah, it's one of those sort of obvious ones, but it might be all we've got. Dogman does some good work down the two wing backs, Lamb and Dogman, could be important in terms of getting up there. Thomas Among scored 2 against San Diego.
Let's see. Yeah, I would just say provide more support for Olofsky.
Probably the best thing to do, yeah.
Whether.
Okay.
3-0 final. Wow.
Okay.
Moving up the ladder.
Watch out, Tulsa.
It's impressive. Jeez, they're falling off the map. Winless in 4 straight.
Who's winless?
Tulsa.
Uh-huh.
Winless in 4 straight and only one win the last 5.
And they had 5 straight wins before that.
Oh. Gross. Well, it's like Birmingham, right? They win like 9 in a row. They just fall off the cliff.
It's strength versus strength tonight from Southern California with one of the hottest teams in the country trying to protect home field. USL Championship action brought to you by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedics Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC, gives you Charleston Battery and Orange County SC. Greetings, everyone. With former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. Happy to hang out with you tonight in the 949. Gary, Western Conference standings, top to bottom. Orange County right smack dab in the middle of this thing.
Unbelievable what a run they have had. The form side in the USL. Looking at level with Oakland Roots. A win would take them above San Diego into third spot.
Not bad for them. 37 points in Charleston Battery. A couple points better, 43. But you see the record, 12, 6, and 7. This team has a ton of confidence right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fantastic under Ben Pierman in his first season at the Battery, and a win takes them into second spot, and they'll only be 1 point behind Pittsburgh Riverhounds, so a lot on the line tonight.
I'm glad you brought up Pittsburgh because they had a troubling night a few days ago against this man, Milan Olaski.
Yeah, they've been all Pittsburgh in the first half, and that one just bounces off the back of Ordonez, but Milan Olaski's so brutal when it comes to taking chances and burying them. One of the most clinical strikers in the whole of the USL.
Yeah, Milan Olaski has been so dynamite this season. He's scored 4 goals in the last 5 matches. He's got 11 so far in the campaign. What makes him so deadly?
Just his ability, his coolness on the ball, his accuracy. He's got 4 assists as well. And he scores crucial goals. The only goal in the match against Pittsburgh, the only one against New Mexico. You know, those are critical goals, and he pops up time and time again.
And then for Charleston Battery, Augie Williams, he's a dynamic playmaker.
Also a wonderful player. He had 10 goals and 2 assists from the 26-year-old player. You have to look at that. Chested, the only goal against Detroit City, does so well to chest it into his path and then just bang that into the back of the net past Nate Steinwasser.
And they've won 3 of their last 5 and gotten a positive decision in 4 of 5. Coming up next, we got a game to be played. Starters, first touch coming up next from Orange County. It's Orange County SC, Charleston Battery coming up next.
From north to south,
east to west,
from Laguna Beach to Irvine,
de Buena Park a San Clemente,
and all 34 cities in between.
For the last 10 years, this has been
Orange County's own
entertainment, community,
Campeones, Colors,
Crest, Pro Soccer Club.
Orange County's own Community Kit.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
And we are live here from Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. Temperature's about 86 degrees in Southern California. With Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. Gary, the starters tonight brought to you by Kimco Staffing.
Yeah, a couple of changes for both sides. In fact, they both made 2 changes, starting with Orange County. Brian Olowski is back on that right side. Kevin Langford goes to the bench, and Seth Kasipli preferred to Ashish Chata in that sort of attacking, or in this case, defensive midfield role.
On one side for Orange County SC, they've won 5 straight matches to be in a dogfight now in the Western Conference. Other side of the ledger, Eastern Conference. Charleston coming to town. How do they deploy amongst their 11?
Yeah, they've also got 2 changes. Robbie Crawford and Pierre Reedy going to the bench. Beto Avila and Nick Markanik is back. Nick Markanik, of course, such a wonderful striker there. So Barajas on one side, Markanik, Augie Williams up front. Wynn will be on the left full back, Dodson on the right. So a few players out of place there, but they'll all fit in eventually. Partida, by the way, probably the defensive midfielder for Orange County. Seth Kasipli more in the attacking role.
It's interesting. Orange County played a couple nights ago. They did so at home against Pittsburgh, a top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. Charleston comes to town, a top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. Will the legs be there early for Orange County, do you think?
Good question, and something that Charleston Battery intend to test out. They say they're going to see if there are any weary legs, but a good performance against Pittsburgh. A game by Orange County, defended extremely well. Only had a couple of chances, but that's all that Milan Oloski needs.
Kind of weird saying this, and this is not some kind of back to the future moment, but there have been threats of a tropical storm as this match is officially underway. Charleston moving from left to right on your screen. Orange County SC will be moving from right to left. Yeah, Hurricane Hillary is moving up the coastline from Baja, California, up to Southern California. It'll travel through Mexico at about 110 miles per hour up to San Diego before it tapers off in Los Angeles. And then it'll make its way to Sin City, Las Vegas to be exact, before it gets to the upper echelon parts of Nevada. But odd, because we see some of that in Louisiana, Florida, maybe Texas, but not California. And here we are.
Well, hopefully it doesn't affect this game, because that's the only focus right now for everyone. All Charleston fans are thinking, hey, we can still win the East and have all the home games. And Orange County fans are believing once again. After a very poor start, Morten Carlson takes over. And it's been a case of 8 wins from the last 9 games. And not against easy sides. When you go back and look at, they beat Pittsburgh last match out. They've beaten a couple of other really good teams like Sacramento Republic. This is an Orange County team on fire.
Which is fascinating to see, not only because of what they're doing and who they're doing it against, but the recovery from 2022. Because that's exactly what it was. You look at Milan Oloski, he had a lights-out campaign, but he had no support around him.
Yeah, to be the top goal scorer in a year in which your team don't play very well is unbelievable. But it was all sort of lying and waiting for Morten Carlson, and now he's taken over. He's bringing them to life.
And it certainly is the case, as this will be a goal kick. Charleston efficient all season long, and one of the strengths to their club here in 2023 is the ability to withstand pressure from the opposition and not have those extended losing streaks that we've seen with certain clubs in both the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference of USL Championship. And that's a sign of a team that can make a deep run in postseason play.
Yeah, they certainly can, Charleston. 25 points on the road is the best in the USL. So this is a tough, battling outfit. And of course, you've got to look at the coach, Ben Pearman, first season, and what a difference he has made from a team that didn't even make the playoffs last season to a team that is looking to top the East.
I don't know how long we talked to Ben Brian a couple days ago, but the conversation we had with him, it probably could have gone on for several minutes. He was extremely engaging, and it was just one of those types of conversations that we had. And Ben was just glowing about his team. He really raved about them, but he's not content.
Oh, absolutely. He wants better from the side in many different areas, and he's been looking for improvement all the time. But he's brought some great players in, the likes of Chris Allen and Declan Wynn. They've all made a massive improvement to this side.
Take a look here at Patterson's keys to the game. Gary, who do you have amongst the keys here in this contest?
Well, I think the obvious one for Orange County is get service into Milan Oloski. With the way he scores goals, Thomas Amang, Brian, his brother Oloski, they've all got to just look for him and get ball to him. I think the interesting one for Charleston is watch second phase ball. That means that when balls come in from corners, set pieces, crosses, and they're not cleared immediately, that's been a problem for Charleston. Ben Pearman very annoyed that a lot of those balls have ended up in the back of the net. So he wants his team to either clear the ball first time, or if it does become a second phase ball, get tighter and stop teams benefiting from this situation.
Is that more of a physical mishap from the club, or is it more of a lack of mental fortitude?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, but you know, when your job at a corner is to mark a certain area or a player, you've got to do that job. If you lose, that's when it becomes a second phase ball. It gets knocked into a danger area, as we see Trey Mewes getting that one out of trouble. So I think Ben Pearman wants his players to win the battle first time around and not have to deal with a second phase ball bouncing around the box.
Fair enough. We just saw Trey Mewes, 9-5-5 record, goals against at 147. Goals against is sharp, save percentage at 636. 7 clean sheets in the campaign. And Olaski, the team's leading striker on the year, making his 25th start in now 25 matches. This one played through at the top of the box. Back post, the header on goal. Easy stop though for Mewes. Probably the easiest one of the night for him. An early threat from Orange County.
Yeah, Carl Scott with a head. I'm just wondering if you can't generate power, can you square it back across the box for somebody else? Because a lovely ball in and he was free at the back post. Carl Scott didn't seem to do much with a decent opportunity.
Looking for his first goal of the season. Only has 3 helpers on the campaign, making his 23rd appearance here in 2023. Is this a result in a goal kick? I mean, a quarter kick for Orange County. Orange County 11 up, 9 down, and 4 draws. 5-4-2 at home. Even 500 at ball on the road. And as Gary had mentioned, Warren Carlson, the interim coach, steps in and has done a fine job evening things out, if you will. Service and Mewes comes out off of his line, cleans things up.
Good goalkeeping from Trey Mewes at 24. He really is a talent, but big, tall, comfortable, confident, comes and plucks that one out of the sky. Another good signing by Ben Pearman to bring him into the club. And he's got 8 clean sheets already this season. A big factor in why Charleston are so high up in the East.
Misspoke. Orange County SC is 6-4-2 at home. I beg your pardon. Can't slight them on that. Every victory does count. And the most recent one against Pittsburgh is a critical one. 1-0 victory, their 5th in a row. Charleston Battery coming off a victory, as we mentioned, against Detroit. August the 12th, on the road as well. Hard to believe, though, Gary, as we're in the middle portion of August and this season is quickly dwindling away.
It is. For some teams, only 7 or 8 games left and a lot of work to be done. Fortunately for Orange County, after this fantastic run, I think their playoff place is probably secure. They're just looking to get as high up and get as many home games as possible. That certainly wasn't the case when Morten Carlson took over. They were, I think, sitting 11th out of 12 and in desperate trouble. What a turnaround it has been. I think you can see the confidence in these orange shirts the way they're playing now.
It certainly does build up as the season goes along with winning. Dogman. This one broken up at the last moment. And it's not all Milan Olaski, although he gets a lot of the praise for the damage he does scoring the ball, but he's got some complementary pieces with him for the party.
Oh, absolutely. And defensively against Pittsburgh, they were brilliant on the day, took a lot of pressure from a very good Pittsburgh side, but Marcus Nakim, Dylan Powers at the back, they were strong. Colin Shuttler in goals has been very solid. But it's all Milan Olaski's ability to turn a half chance into a goal.
Dogman again gave this ball up. Olaski searching and wanted it. Could not get to it as it was broken up again outside the box. Fans rowdy early on. And this results in a throw-in for Charleston Battery. 8th minute right now, not a lot of heavy activity. More so for Orange County towards target than Charleston early on.
And just speaking to Morten Carlson a couple of days ago, we said, you know, you're playing midweek. What's the story for you? He said it's just a couple of light training sessions, take it easy, let the guys' legs recover and have them ready for the game. So that's how he has prepared his team for this match today.
As the season goes along too, Gary, you more inclined as a manager to take those days off just to walk and watch tape?
Yeah, I think so. I think you do need to rest the body, let recovery. The players are fit by now. They're mentally tuned in. You've got playoffs to come, so you don't want to overstress the body and end up losing players through hamstring injuries or whatever. So yeah, it is a careful looking after the players at this stage. The managers they count the minutes, they look at the players psychologically, they rotate. Both managers making 2 changes today to keep players, you know, battling for places on the one hand and also resting legs wherever possible.
We'll keep an eye on everything that is the Western Eastern Conference. The standings continue to move all the way up and down the board. See Ryan Dogman there. He's had his fair share of vocal activity. Olaski switches the pitch. Over was Bryant, brother Bryant. Bryant, no numbers. Transition pretty good. That strike on goal misses by a good couple feet. Hughes had a beat on it though.
That's a great effort cutting in the way he did. Beat a lot of players and got the shot off, which is the most important thing of all. And have a look at the end when he gets the shot off, there's 5 white shirts around him. That's a really good effort there by Brian Olaski.
A little puzzling because it looked like Chris Allen backed off a little bit defensively versus Brian. Turned inside out. Match is still scoreless though. No major changes for Charleston. 43 points. And they've captured 7 victories on the road, as Gary had mentioned. 7-2-4 away from home. Team that can win on the road is a threat to win it all.
Yeah, every chance. But again, it's what Ben Pearman has brought to the side. This real focus, this dogged mentality. He's got some really good players that he's brought in. Derek Dodson being another one of those. Came in from Memphis, and he's been a powerhouse down that right-hand side, as Declan Wynn has been down the left.
Spent his time with Memphis 2002. Did some damage with them in 30 matches.